Well, I made a comment on YouTube, and perfectly legitimate comment. No cussing, no threats, nothing about firearms, nothing about explosives, nothing about violence. But it was about the FBI out of Baltimore, Maryland, illegally referring my name to the terrorist watch list in 2016. And it was after I caught two individuals breaking into my home and I stopped them at gunpoint. The FBI illegally referred my name, Henry A. Eberhardt, to the terrorist watch list in 2016, along with the Anne Arundel County Police Department, in retaliation over my complaint about the unconstitutional red flag law that murdered Mr. Wilson in Glen Burnie, Maryland. A 64-year-old man woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning with two criminals with badges demanding his legally owned firearm, which he rightfully said no. They wrestled with him, and then they used that as an excuse to murder him. They give a message to legal gun owners in Maryland that if you own a gun, they may kill you. They will get one of their community watch group members to target you and say you're crazy. That way they can come to your door, kick your door down, and take your firearm, or they can just murder you like they did with Mr. Wilson. Anyways, I have experienced by the FBI, Anne Arundel County Police Department, Emergency Management, Homeland Security Fusion Centers, NSA on Fort Meade Army Base, retired military personnel, InfraGard, cops program, which are just puppets that the police use to commit crimes against people they don't like, using their freedom of speech on social media platforms like Facebook and YouBoob. YouTube are communist criminals. They support criminals with badges. They remove truthful comments that exposes criminals with badges of their crimes. Some of the crimes are the following. They started with slander to destroy me and get the neighbors to rise up against me. They actually said that I was a pedophile, saying that I was on a sex registry list, which is an absolute lie. You can check that out for yourself. My name is Henry A. Eberhardt here in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and you can look up the sex registry list for yourself, and guess whose name you won't find there? Guess. Henry Eberhardt. That name won't be there because it's a lie. Slander, blacklisting, death threats, many death threats, breaking into our home several times, sabotage by loosening four posi bolt rear bolts on the back of our truck to get us into a crash, verified by two mechanics at Meineke in Glen Burnie, Maryland, who have probably been compromised by now. Usually I can only stay at a mechanic shop for so long until they go in and tell the mechanics all kinds of horrendous lies about me. And then my vehicle happens to show up with many other repairs, if you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, I've walked outside several times. Tires popped, truck flat to the ground. I've walked out there right in front of my face. The cops program, the community watch group, shot out the back window of my truck under the direction of the Anne Arundel County police officer, Officer Alwine, and his puppet that was with him. They even refused to write a police report on that shooting, if you can believe that. As they were standing literally in the shot out glass of my truck, I had to call Internal Affairs to get the report written. They've stolen our mail and trash for ID theft. Then they proceeded to ripping off our bank accounts and stealing a car. All of it on record, mind you. All of it on record, several times of them breaking into our home. I've also been assaulted where I had to defend myself one time. Then we had vehicle assault where people have slammed into the back of my vehicle 3 or 4 times in 1 year. Yeah. Not only that, but we do detect a Stingray device where they are listening into our phone calls and viewing our internet activity. That's been detected dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times. We got a lot of them in public mentioning things that me and my wife would only know about unless someone was standing in here with us. They do this in public to let you know that they're fucking eavesdropping on us. So these people have committed, like I said, every misdemeanor and felonies imaginable, coming out of the FBI, out of Baltimore, Maryland, coming out of the Anne Arundel County Police Department in Maryland, coming out of the Sheriff's Department in Maryland. InfraGard is involved as well. Homeland Security Fusion Centers, those libtards, those far left pieces of shit are involved as well. I think mainly why they targeted me is because I'm a big time outspoken Trump supporter. So I'm sure there's a bunch of conservatives out there experiencing the same thing I'm going through. The cops program, they use lots of red vehicles. What a lot of people call it is Red Squad Stasi tactics. It's an East Germany tactic that they use to destroy people who stood up for freedom, who stood up for capitalism, who stood up for their people living free. Basically, what they would do is felony stalk that individual, harass that individual, destroy their jobs until they were on the street. That way, it was easier for them to murder that individual, which they have done here in the United States as well. There's quite a few FBI whistleblowers that came out on the floor of Congress speaking about this program, which has targeted many, many, many innocent Americans over their freedom of speech on social media platforms, mainly Facebook. Let's see, what else have they done? Oh, vehicular assault. Yeah, I mentioned that one. What else do we have here? Well, there's no use talking about because I've already mentioned enough that they've done, which I can prove, which I've put on video. But for some reason, YouTube takes down that comment under the direction of these ABC agencies, the NSA, FBI, CIA, InfraGard, and others that have been infiltrated by far left criminals. And I'm making this video mainly because they took down that comment. And if you're able to see this video, can you do me a big favor? Share it far and wide, because I'm definitely being shadow banned, and they're definitely trying to shadow ban the truth. YouTube is they've pretty much proven that they're communist criminals working with criminals with badges. So please share this comment far and wide. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.